Bledsoe, the councilperson for the 10th District, and you're watching Talk of the 10th. Today is a very special honor for me as I get to bring you as an inside look into the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army has been a partner of the city's and established here in Lexington for well over 100 years. It's been my privilege and honor to serve on the advisory board for the Salvation Army the last several years with a lot of Lexington leaders. And it's really a neat thing for the city to partner. In fact, the last several years, we've partnered with them on a number of initiatives and partnerships with make the community really a great place to be. And so today I'm joined with Major Tom Heisman.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk a little bit about what the Salvation Army is, what you do for our community, and how long have you been here? You've been here the last couple of years.
Yeah, I came in 2015, just around the middle of the year, and we've been having a great time here in Lexington.
Well, I know you and your wife, Susan, we were so grateful for you coming to Lexington. And Lexington's a beautiful place to be, and you don't just cover Lexington, you cover a lot of the greater Lexington area.
We do. We cover central Kentucky, so our area really incorporates Fayette County, Scott County, and Jessamine County. And so we have offices in both of the other two counties, and as well as Fayette County, and we cover those three areas.
Well, you provide a great number of services. Why don't you talk to me about a few of them?
Sure, we do have a lot of services, and I think a lot of people that pass by our building here on Main Street have no idea what takes place, behind these walls. But we have, our biggest program is our shelter program, and we have 186 beds that we have for single parent families. And so we'll have women and children, or we'll have single women. We also have the Department of Corrections women in our program. And then we also have a few units that we can use for single fathers with children. So on any given day, we have over 200 people in our shelter every night. And most people don't know that. They drive by the facility and they see a big building, but they don't really know what's happening in the building. But we have all these women and children that are part of our program every day. And it's not just a shelter. It really is a program to help them get back on their feet. I like to think of it, it's an opportunity for them maybe just to take a step back, to get a breath, to be able to realize what things they need to change or fix in their lives to really make things happen so that their families can live whole again. And the idea is that they don't stay long. We don't want them here forever. We don't want them to get so comfortable that this becomes home, although we want them to feel at home. Mm-hmm. The idea is we really want them to get better so that we can get them back into their own homes. Sure. And get active again in their own communities. So that's really our biggest program. And we have, again, 186 beds, and we have 204 beds with overflow. And we're full every night of the week.
I think what the misperception might be, I think that is, in wintertime, that's when everyone shows up. But that's a consistent number, spring, summer, fall. I
was surprised that the number actually peaked higher in July than it did in the wintertime. So the number actually went even higher in July than it did in the winter. I think we think of needs mostly in the cold weather season, but need really doesn't know any season. It's always around. And it seems as though people struggle even in the summertime as they do in the wintertime. And sometimes it's even more difficult in the summer because now the families are home from school and mom and dad or mom can't afford to keep meals on the table or keep the roof over their head, and next thing they know, they find themselves here at our shelter. We never turn any of the ladies away. Even when we're full, we find more space to put people, and we've expanded several times in the last 2.5 years that I've been here.
That's really incredible. And one of the things I learned really coming on the board and just being a leader in Lexington is how many kids are homeless. And yes. I was really surprised. I know we've done several, the newspaper's done several articles and kind of raised the awareness and concern that we have a lot more homeless kids. And really that's adults that have kids with them. Oftentimes they don't have someplace to go. So talk a little bit about what you do with kids in particular.
Sure. We have, right now we have about 60 children in our shelter. All of those children are allowed to use our programs. And so we have many of those young people are in our Boys and Girls Club program. So when they get done with school, the schools bring them to our program. and they'll be part of that program. If they're not in school yet, they're part of our Early Learning Center, which is our daycare. And we have about 50 kids in our daycare and nearly 100 kids in the Boys and Girls Club program. So that's kids from around the communities and also the kids that are from our program. The neat thing is that when you talk with the kids and you see the interaction of the kids, they don't know who's homeless and who's not homeless. They're just all part of the same program, and they're all here to just enjoy learning and just establishing themselves. And so those are two of our youth programs that we do during the day. We also have many youth programs in the evenings. We teach music programs, so we have our own music school on Thursday nights, and we do that because we want the kids to be able to be challenged. Music really helps the mind to grow and for them to think clearly. And so I know in the Salvation Army, when I was only 5 years old, I learned how to play a brass instrument. Now I'm 52, so I've been playing a brass instrument that entire time, and it's because of the Salvation Army. And you know, when I think about all the things that have come my way because of starting out even as a 5-year-old in the Salvation Army program, and here I am today, and I run one of the biggest Salvation Armies in the territory, and all because of somebody taking just an interest in a 5-year-old and saying, I think you could probably learn to play an instrument.
That's really incredible.
It is. It's pretty incredible.
Providing dignity for people, I think, is one of the things that I've been most impressed with the Salvation Army. Be it a place to stay, providing some place where you don't necessarily know with the kids who's homeless and who's not, but you treat everyone well, and they have an environment that says, we value you, we respect you, and we're going to treat you with dignity, which not everybody does, I think, sometimes in social services atmospheres. And you mentioned the territory. So Lexington's a part of how big of a broader community of Salvation Armies?
So the Salvation Army is actually in 128 countries today, and we're doing work in 175 different languages. But our territory, it begins actually where we are here in Kentucky and goes all the way to the point of Maine, and that's called the Eastern Territory. And then the Salvation Army is broken up into 4 territories across the United States, and we're the furthest southwest of our Eastern Territory. And so there's 11 divisions in our territory, and we're part of the Southwest Ohio and Northern Kentucky division. And then within this division, there's about 38 or 39 Salvation Army units, and we're one of those 38 or 39 Salvation Armies in our division of Southwest Ohio and Northern Kentucky.
Now, I hear rumors that Lexington's kind of a gem in some of these areas.
It really is.
Why do you think that's the case?
Well, it's funny because I heard a lot about Lexington before we moved here, but I think because of the facility that we have, the number of people that we're able to assist, and then because the community gives the Army such wonderful support. The Army is well supported all across the country and the world, but there is something special about Lexington. It seems that the minute that the community knows there's a need, they instantly back you up, and they're right there to help you and make whatever is necessary to make that end meet. They really try their very hardest to do that. Other communities, they try to do that, but they're not as successful. But Lexington really has done well with that over the years. So we noticed that right away coming into this place. We realized how big the magnitude of assistance was that we provided out of this facility, and I kept saying to my staff, how is it even possible that we're going to make all these things happen this year? And they kept saying, just wait and see how the community responds, and the community just keeps responding.
That's fantastic.
It is.
It's been so fun to ring the bell like so many community leaders do at different parts. I've been at Fayette Mall a number of times. My kids find it fantastic. Mm-hmm. You see everyone, and there's such a giving spirit when kids walk up and they put something in the bucket and feel like, I'm doing my little. Be it the penny, be it the quarter, be it the dollars, be it the number of checks. Being a part of that, you're part of something so much bigger than yourself.
Yes.
Which is really neat. So if you're not at Christmas time, you kind of donate. What are other ways when you say, if I want to be helpful or useful or contribute to the Army's mission, what are some ways that I could do that as just a member of our community?
Sure. So obviously we really operate on money from donations and from our donors. People can come in and volunteer. We do have a volunteer program once a month, where if somebody calls up and says, I'd really like to volunteer for a specific activity, whether it's reading books to a child in the Early Learning Center, or helping out with a tutorial program with the Boys and Girls Club. We have a very extensive background check we have to do, obviously, but we do the background check with them, and we pay for that. And then once they've been cleared through the background check, then we can bring volunteers in for many different activities. Once a month, again, we started this new volunteer activity where they can come in, and it's kind of like a teaching segment for us with our volunteers to give them all the segments of what our building can do, and then find out where they feel that they can fit those needs best with their abilities, and then we match them up with those things. So we have a clothing bank, we have a food bank, again with the Boys and Girls Club and the Early Learning Center, and then with the many programs we offer in the evenings, there's so many different opportunities for people to help. It's just a matter of getting them plugged into the area that they have interest.
Sure. I know that when we had a clothing drive or a coat drive back with kids, I went through my kids' clothes and said, okay, if the jacket's too small, we came down and we put them on the car, and the kids got out and we donated them, and they said, well, you mean these kids don't have jackets? I'm like, no, not everybody has a winter jacket, and we've had some just brutal winters. So you mentioned the clothing bank, because that's something that happens all the time.
It is. Our clothing bank is open year-round, and we operate on donations that come in. A lot of people think that we can take household items and appliances. We really can't take those things here. Our thrust really is the clothing room, and that helps us with our shelter. It helps us with people coming in off the street. Really just gives people a chance to go in and to look around and find something that will fit them, and there's no cost to them whatsoever. And so we'll have, I forget the number of people that come in daily, but that clothing bank is open Monday through Friday from 9 o'clock, I think, until 3 o'clock every day.
That's really incredible. And there's so many opportunities. If you've not been down to the Salvation Army, I encourage you to come on down and check it out. It's a beautiful location, really at the entrance when you come down Main Street, which is kind of nice. It's a beautiful area, and there's such a wonderful need in the community here. And what I've found is such a great place of hope and opportunity and love. So don't just take my word for it. We're going to be back in just a minute and tell you how you can be involved this summer. Well, we're back, and we're joined by a lot of kids who get to participate here in the Boys and Girls Club here in Lexington at the Salvation Army. And one of the most unique ways we can do to influence our community is get our kids actively involved in caring for and serving others. So Major Tom, talk to me a little bit about what Lemonade Days is like.
Yeah, Lemonade Days will run for the month of July, and all these children, as well as children throughout the community, have the opportunity to just put up a lemonade stand, and it's children helping children. So the money that's raised through the Lemonade campaign helps the children that are in our shelter. And last year, the kids and the sponsorships raised $70,000 during that time. So we're hoping to do that again this year.
We need to exceed that goal. I know my kids and a lot of our friends' kids had a good time going out in July and setting up a lemonade stand, saying, hey, help us help other kids in our community who just need a place to go. So I hope you grab it. How do I get involved? Like, how do I sign up to be?
They can call our office here on Main Street, and we have a packet for each child that signs up, and then we always do a grand finale at the very end as well.
So there's a party after it's all over to say thank you for being a part of the Lemonade Days. Awesome. Well, I hope you have enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Salvation Army. Kids, what do we think about lemonade?
We love lemonade!
Well, thanks for watching Talk of the 10th. We hope to see you out this summer.